Blog Talk Radio.
You're listening to Girls vs. Ghosts Radio. Welcome to the Dr. Gina Show. Dr. Gina is a health and wellness advocate with a doctorate in occupational therapy. She graduated from NYU with a degree in psychology, finished her master's degree at Thomas Jefferson University, and earned her doctorate at Temple University, as well as she holds many certifications in nutrition, personal training, child yoga. Gina now works in early intervention, specializing in children with autism. Gina is an animal lover. She supports many rescue organizations and enjoys advocating for animal rights. Join Dr. Gina as she takes you on a journey to live your best life now.
Hello. Sorry about that. There was a little technical difficulty on my end. So welcome to the Dr. Gina Show. We are on episode 8. We're going to talk about intuition tonight. So I just want to go over some things. My social media, you can find me on Instagram to follow me at Psychic Medium Dr. Gina. You can also find me on Twitter at GinaFitPlus11. Facebook is Gina Marie. I'm Girls vs. Ghost Media. I want to thank my producer, Charlotte Harden. She is on the phones, and we will be taking calls later tonight. I want to talk about intuition, as I said tonight. Intuition is something that guides our life. We always have intuition. People think of it as like a voice in your head, a voice in your gut. However you want to think about it, it's hard to distinguish sometimes. Sometimes people will say, my clients will say to me, how do I know it's my intuition or it's a voice in my head? So some of those things we're definitely going to talk about. I want to thank some of my listeners out there who I know are listening. I want to thank Joy and Dave, who are really helping me with this technology thing in my life, which is definitely hard for me. The social media, all that stuff is very difficult to run and do, and I hate spending time on the computer, so thank them. Thank you for listening. My friend Jackie, who's always listening, Heather, who helps us with all of our social media stuff, thank you so much for our banners. And anyone who's listened to the pre-recorded show, I want to thank them as well. So on this show, if this is your first time tuning in, I like to tell my listeners that on this show, I'm going to help guide you in your journey to help awaken your soul. When we come here in life, people don't really realize this. Some people are awakened to this, that we're just energy. We're just here in this physical body, living this human experience. But we're energy. We have a soul. Our soul, is a spirit. People, when we pass away, we're still that energy. We're that spirit. This soul that we have is basically our heart, our intuition, we could call it. It's that voice. It has many definitions and meanings for it. But our soul is the core of who we are. So in this show, we'll talk about a lot of topics. And I'm a medium. I'm a psychic medium. So I will also be channeling different spirits. I channel a higher intelligence I call the council. And I listen to them through my guide, who are Christopher, who helps tell me some of the things and relates them. And I also have other spirits that come in, as well as some of my callers, or like my clients will know, I'll talk to some of your relatives who are as well past. So I have that connection, as well as I do have a doctorate, so I have a doctorate in counseling, and I come out and I'm Dr. Gina sometimes and use that too. So it's a little bit of Dr. Gina, it's a little bit of psychic medium Dr. Gina, and this show will guide you through everything to help you live your best life while you're fulfilling your soul's mission. And hashtag passing your fucking test. Because we come here because we choose some of the things we want to experience here in the 3D, some of the challenges we want to go through, and we write that in our Akashic records, our big book, soul contracts, the things we come here for. Some souls are more advanced than others. Some souls are on a higher level. They come here for higher learning, higher acceleration. They may have jobs or missions that they're going to do when they're here. And there are some people I like to call fillers. And they come, they do have a soul, but their mission is small. But, we need everybody. We need the people that have the bigger, advanced souls, and we need the fillers. We need everyone to make this world go around. So in this show, we're going to help awaken you and help you understand some of that. So I like to talk, if you've been listening to me, some of my segments. So my first segment is, it's just, for some of the kids that might be listening or parents that might have children. I do work in early intervention with children. I work with children on the spectrum and autism. And just some children might seem like, you're not sure. You feel like they have an intuition, or they might be empaths and you're not sure. So I like to call this section a look into a life of a psychic medium, and it might resonate with some of you, and it just helps with some of the struggles, because even though, yes, I was born a medium, seeing and hearing dead people since I can remember, I've always been psychic and had that voice on a journey here learning, just like each and every one of you are. And my friends who know me, my clients who know me, and people will say, like, I'm just me. I'm regular. I screw up. I mess shit up. I fail my tests. I might be able to channel and help and guide you on what way is best for you by talking to spirits, by talking to your guides, my guides, your relatives. But for myself, I can't do that. I wish I could, but I can't, because I get confused with my brain, and I try. But so just like you, I'm down here messing up. So just to give you a look at my life, so it can help you know that, yes, I'm here in the struggle with you. So some of the things to work on, just coming here, yes, we need to fulfill our soul's contracts. We need to pass our tests. We need to live our best soul's life here, because that will advance us when we go back to heaven, or whatever you want to call it. I see it as heaven. So when our soul is taken away and we're back in the spirit world, we want to come and have advanced. So when we go over our records in our book, we made a lot of advancements, and our soul made that much more advancements. It's kind of like a college, You pass your test and you keep advancing to different levels and degrees. And, I got my doctorate here on earth, and I really hope when I go and meet my maker, I hope I have a doctorate from living this life, because God has put me through it. That is for sure. I think he's put me through it so that I can help you, because it helps me have more empathy, because usually I'm listening to a client, I'm like, oh my God, like I unfortunately been there. I've been there, especially in these last 4 years. Anything that I might have missed, I think God had to hurry up and get it in. So because of that, and because of all of us here living our life and, trying to pass our tests, we do need self-care. So I'm just talking this section about some of my self-care this week. I went to the infrared sauna again. I'm back in it. I did have some little fake eyelashes put on for a little bit, and I didn't want them to melt off. So I skipped it. But anyway, back in the sauna. And that is the amazing thing, like meditation. And I go to that infrared sauna and I just meditate and talk about feeling your intuition. Infrared sauna for me, like, it was really hard at first. I couldn't make it to the 30 minutes. And today I haven't been there in like a month. So today was difficult. I made 20 minutes. But it is my deepest form of meditation when I'm in this sauna. And it just really helps me, especially before a show, because I really need to connect with my inner self, my higher self, my higher being, because I'm getting ready to channel. So I need to clear and be an open channel for you. So this really helps me. And if you're looking for something to just go find yourself, like, I feel like you're just like detoxing and opening up to your higher self. So I've done that. And, everyone that knows me knows I train martial arts. I train jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai. So I've been slacking on the Muay Thai for the last month, just really doing a lot of isolation, inner searching. But this week I'm back to like 6 times, and really back in training and drilling, and it really feels good for me. But you got to, again, listen to your body, your soul, your body has an intuition. So in December and January, I really needed to do some inner self work. I needed to really kind of separate myself from people, from anyone really talking to me, and that would be friendships or family, and even some of my best friend, and if you guys are listening, any of you know that I'm a loyal friend. I'm a good friend, but sometimes I separate or I can't really talk to family too, and it's because being a medium, a psychic, and doing the work I do, not just here with my clients, but as an occupational therapist and giving, I really need to find out who I am because I lose track sometimes. So I'm not separating so much from my friends or even I found this in my past relationships with guys that I was involved in. They think that I don't talk or I'm quiet or I don't tell them. It's because I really need a lot of self-care time, a lot of alone time. For me, I need that. So I've been taking that in December and January, but I've been spending time with my friends this week, and it's really nice because I love my friends, my family, whether I'm with them or not. It's just, I guess maybe different or whatever it is, but I just really need that time to regroup. So this week, I had a great time with friends. I have a lot of plans coming up for this week, and I'm kind of back on my socialization, and that's really cool. Now, also, if you know me or you don't know me, cooking has never been a thing for me. So I actually been doing some cooking, and one of the things I found out, and for all you cookers out there, I bought spinach, and every time I cook it, I buy this big bag of spinach, and I don't know what happens to it, but the spinach completely goes away. But I've been trying to cook and eat more. I just my one pot that I had got burnt, and I threw it out, so I need to get a pot. Yes, that's on my list of things to do. And it's good when you hear, this is another thing, as far as intuition goes, let me touch on this. As far as eating and cooking, I also have a degree, a certification in nutrition, and, I've always been big on trying to eat healthy, and I switching back and changed my routine a lot. I was a vegan for a couple of years, completely vegan, not even dairy. And then I started meat and cheese and adding it back in, but you got to listen to your body. And your intuition is going to tell you that. I listen to what my body tells me. And when I felt I needed to go vegan when I decided about a year and a half or 2 years ago that I was really going to do this psychic work and actually not just be something I do for fun. And I felt I just really needed that to go through my body, clean that out. And, of course, I'm an animal lover and things like that. But now I do go back to the cheese, but I try the organic because I'm not about that animal life the way they're mean to the animals to get that. So I try to get the dairy that's organic and stuff like that. And I've also added chicken and fish back into my diet now. I have to just bless the animal and say thank you, but I really need it. My body needs it. It's listening to your intuition. You feel how you feel. I felt I was just a deflated tire. I needed to eat that food. And this is when I used to be a personal trainer and I used to help my clients. I used to teach them it's about, not so much about diet, because I call diet dying while you're at it. But it's about feeling your body, knowing, I've never been on a diet my whole life. Never, ever did I deprive myself of something that I really wanted. Never. Even now that I don't want to be vegan or vegetarian anymore, I'm not. Because I listen to that voice, that inner voice in myself that tells me what I can or can't eat, because your body is going to regulate. Your body is your intuition. You listen to yourself. That's as far as working out, too. When you're completely dying and you're so sore, if you go to the gym, a high chance you're going to get hurt because you're just worn down. So it's listening to your body's intuition. And that goes as far as, again, as eating, as food, as everything. And we're going to get more into that. Let me just go over another thing that I decided is sometimes you'll get to the point, your intuition, you feel it. And yes, I'm psychic. My intuition is super high, but anyone's intuition, if for example, in New York City here, I take the subway, and there was a point in time where I took the subway often. I could be on it 3 or 4 times a day because I would see kids in their home or the hospital, wherever they were. So I was riding the subway here, there, and everywhere. And I remember this journey of mine, this last probably August, I said to myself, I'm going to take half of the kids' cases because I can't take the subway. Well, come this January, I said, you know what? I am done with the subway. I'm done. Like, unless there's a lot of traffic, I'm taking an Uber. And that was just my intuition, my body telling me, like, you're done with this. Like, it is beating your soul down. You cannot get on the subway, anymore. And it's not you. Because for a minute I thought, do I have to leave New York City? But it was just, you regulate, you feel it. And I said, no, like, I just need to take an Uber or get my car out and drive it in Jersey. But the subway thing is over. And you just start to feel it and you start to act on it. And even when I was a kid, as young as I can remember, I mean, I was definitely do what I wanted, and I was raised with my uncles and with my grandmother overseeing things. And yes, I was spoiled, but I did what I wanted. But it was my intuition that would tell me, like, if I felt like whatever I wanted to do, I just did. I was always guided by my intuition. And just if I wanted to, not go to school, or I didn't. No one really knew if I went or not. I pretty much raised myself. But whatever I didn't want to do, I didn't do. And if I wanted to do homework, I did. Or if I didn't, I didn't. And thank God I was really smart. But I did what I wanted to do. If I wanted to listen to someone, I did. If I didn't, I remember having detention and sitting in the office and, like, crawling out the window because I didn't want to stay there. Like, I never did what I didn't feel like I needed to do. And I remember then getting to the teenage years and my grandma saying, you have to listen. You can't just do what you want to do. You can't always have fun. And I was like, yes, I can. Why can't I? And then even younger, like, I would get a job and 2 weeks I would quit. It just, like, something would turn me off and I'd be like, I quit. And my grandma, you got to do this and you got to do that. And I always listened to my intuition. And I always said I was going to be all right. And not only would I be all right, but by listening to my intuition and what it told me, usually I would upgrade from whatever my intuition said. And then there was a point when she passed away 4 years ago, I kind of was letting that intuition go. I was going on, like, my subconscious mind, and that shit gets you in trouble, like that programming. The subconscious mind is what people put in your mind, so be it teachers, society, like the rules, and, the rules of being on time or for my, doing the right thing. I'm not saying do the wrong thing, be disrespectful. We all need a job, but just I had a hard time with someone telling me what time I had to do it, where I had to be there, where I needed to do something. It would drive me insane. But then, I got stuck, and when my grandma passed away, my fiance went to jail. Like, I lost my house, I lost a job. Like, I lost so much. I started going on subconscious programming and forgetting about my intuition. And for 2 years, I was so lost in my mind that my life just fell apart. And probably the last couple years of my life, I've been back and figuring things out and back in touch with my intuition. And that's what you need to find, is that intuition when you feel something. Because if you feel something deep in your soul and then you get stuck and you go back to that subconscious mind that says to you something like, you can't leave this job, because if you leave this job, you're not going to get another one. You need security and benefits. That's what my grandma always say. You need security and benefits. And I'd say, no, I don't. And I would not listen to it. But again, I was always taking a win every time I listened to that intuition. It was only when I got caught up in that scared shit and I wasn't listening to my intuition, when stuff started falling apart and I got insecure and unconfident. I really, I'd say 3 years, these last 3 years of, not this last year, but 3 years previous, I didn't know who the fuck I was. There was a point where, yes, I did some journeys and helped find out, like, who am I? Like, come back to life, like, look in the mirror. My confidence and everything was, like, so low. I was shit. I was eating shit. I was taking shit. Everything was shit because I didn't listen to my intuition. I was listening to that damn subconscious mind that is programmed from when you're a child, telling you things that you shouldn't, you can't get caught up in. Oh my God, put money away for a rainy day, save this and save that. And you get so caught up in lack and fear that you live in that energy, that vibration of lack and fear. And you know what? That you attract shit that's light, lack, and fear. And that's why if you're living in your intuition, you're living light. You're living in your soul. You're going by what feels right for you, your gut feeling. So a lot of people always worry about this as far as intuition goes. They're always like, well, how do I know this is my intuition talking and this is not fear? Like, I'm not scared. What's the definition of being fearful, or is this my intuition? Well, that's not an easy thing to figure out for sure, but I'm going to give you like an explanation, a little analogy of something that happened here. So fear would be something like, you're walking in an alleyway or something, and you're fearful. Like, is this my intuition talking to me, or do I find fear? Well, it's a combination, but most likely you're feeling fear because you're in like a place that you're a little scared. That's not your intuition saying, hey, someone's going to come get you. It's fearful. So fear is most likely when you're put in a position that makes you feel uncomfortable. Intuition just comes mostly when your mind is quiet. You're in an anxiety spot. That we'll say that's fear, but if you want to listen to your intuition, you have to quiet your mind. That's when your intuition comes out. Quiet mind, meditation. And meditation is I never really knew the benefits, and you guys know this. I talk about it. I never really knew the benefits of of meditation until I do it, and it might not even hit you right away. Like, I meditated probably a few weeks ago, really deep meditation, and I had things on my mind that I was asking before I went into the meditation. Then cleared it. And those answers don't come right away, but they'll start coming, and you'll get your intuition that will start kicking in, and then you'll start seeing signs, and things will appear. So, for example, this is how this works. It's super cool, and I'm telling you, like, this works. So before I went into a meditation a few weeks ago, I had this question. On my journey, I keep moving, and my intuition will tell me something like, you got to change this situation. This situation's not good. This is happening, and you're not seeing it because, again, either your subconscious mind's kicking in, or you're believing something that you want to believe to be true, but it's not true. But you feel like a tug of war in your head. It's the intuition. You're saying, oh, this is a good situation, but you hear this little intuition saying, but no, it's not. So before I did this meditation, for me, it was more like I said what I wanted, I needed to say. For me, I pray to God. So and my family, my spirit guides, and I said, like, I'm going to do this meditation. I would like to have some clear signs or answers to this, before. So I went into my meditation 30 minutes. This time it was like laying down meditation. And I came out of the meditation, and I came home that night, and I got it. I came across something that was sent to me on like some inbox, and it gave me like every answer that I needed. It was given to me. It was completely given to me. I was asking for it because my intuition made me ask for it. They made me say, something's wrong here. It was this little voice that wouldn't go away, saying something's wrong, like you're not seeing it for what it is. So once you get that little voice, that little intuition, it's like kicking at you, like something's wrong, and you could see all the roses you want because you don't want to see the weeds, but there's something in there. So I did this meditation, and I swear I went to work. When I came home that night and I got that message, like everything I needed to know, maybe I didn't want to know, but everything I needed to know was there. And then what are you going to do with it from there? What are you going to do? Because you can ignore it and say, oh, my God, I asked for this. My intuition led me to ask. My intuition said, let's ask for this. My spirit guides, my angels, my ancestors, they gave me the answer because you asked for it, and they will give it to you. And then what? You're not going to hashtag pass your fucking test? Like, you asked for it, you give it to it. And I'm not saying I'm perfect because I've been failing. I've been asking for the signs and seeing them and failing for a few years now. And then finally there's something that kicks in, and you're like, how long are you going to keep ignoring this intuition, or, and then ask for it? So I like to say, when the intuition kicks you, it wakes you up, and you feel it in your soul, something's wrong, then you need to meditate or pray or, whatever your form is. Ask for signs from your higher self. If you pray to God or whoever you pray to, and they're going to show you. And then once you're shown, what are you going to do with it? Because they gave it to you. This never fails me. Never, ever fails me. I fail myself because they show it to me, and then I go fail because, I don't know, I'm an asshole or whatever. But I fail. But I want you all to try that. Feel what's bugging you. It might be something like this. I mean, I have many examples in my life, but let me just pull one. So I had a feeling that this stupid other therapist that I knew, well, I didn't really know her, but anyway, she came across my path. And I said to myself, man, there's something about this one I just don't like. I had a feeling. My intuition was telling me. But, I played nice and tried to put it out of my head. And all of a sudden, this one that I had the intuition about, she pulled something fucked up, I should say. And then, I had the repercussions of it, which, I was in the right on this thing. But if I would have listened to my intuition when I first heard it say, there's something about her, I would not have went into this case with her. But I did because I ignored my intuition. I ignored it. And I went into it. I should have checked that intuition, but I thought, hey, man, I'm being judgmental because, I don't like the way she talks or the way she dresses. I don't know. But it was really my intuition kicking in, and I should have listened to it. Or sometimes in that particular case, when I felt that about, this woman, I should have said to myself, man, I shouldn't sign on for this case right now. I should take some time, step away, think about it before I sign on that line and say I'm going to take this case. But I didn't because I said to myself, oh, man, Gina, you're just being a judgmental bitch. You've done it before. So what if you don't like the way her voice sounds like a little squeaky bitch? Sign this case. And I did, but in retrospect, I should have listened to my intuition. And this happens with everything. So it's good to step back. And it's a lesson that, I've only recently learned. This happened with a contractor at my house. I remember I had a big job I was going to do. And there was something saying, oh, my God, I don't know. And you're like, well, why not? He's been your friend. You know him. But there was still that intuition that said, oh, man, I don't know. Don't get this contractor. But again, I thought, oh, my God, my mind's playing tricks on me. But what I should have done is, again, take the time, done some meditation, just not made a rash decision and really checked in with my intuition before I went and made that. Or, call your psychic, call me, haha. But, you want to consult with someone if you can. Just don't when you feel something in your gut that says, oh, no, that's when you need to quiet your mind because that's your intuition. It's telling you something. And you can be guided by anything. People are guided by, well, let me ask my husband or, when you were little, or I have to ask my mom. But, I wish I could go back to when I was a kid because these last 4 years, I don't know who the fuck I was. But when I was a kid, I always went my intuition. I don't like it. I'm not going to do it. I don't like this. I don't do it. It was only when I started to live in fear and lack, when I lost a lot, that screwed me up. And it's taken me probably maybe this last year and a half when I'm really just coming out of all the shit you plant. Because when you're not really living it from your heart, your soul, your intuition, what you're doing is you're planting a lot of this negativity. I call it like a weed garden. You're planting a lot of these negative shit, and you're sowing the garden of all weeds. And so eventually those negative garden that you've been fostering and caring for is going to bloom. It might not bloom while you're living the high life. It's not, because you're living that high life. But while you're living the high life, because this happened to me, when I'm living this life of just running around, just doing my shit, I'm planting all this negative shit that bloomed 2 years later. So in this hell that I've been living in for a few years, I've been the last year and a half planting some good shit. But, that good shit's going to take a while to bloom. So, that's how it goes. So you always got to remember to guide by your intuition so that you're continually planting the roses and you're not planting the dandelions, which are weeds, even though I think they're cool. But, you don't want to plant those weeds. You want to always plant the roses and live on that high vibration. And when you feel that intuition saying, hey, man, something's wrong, you're starting to plant some damn weeds if you go down there. So you got to be careful. So you also want to know, the intuition, it could sometimes intuition, and this is just another example through me, my life, the intuition will be so intense that you feel your intuition. And not only do you feel your intuition, but your guides, like your spirit guides, they're trying to tell you, like, oh my God, like, wake up. We're showing you this is your intuition. Like, you don't see this. So then for me now it's easy for me, thank God, to know, like, this is my intuition, and I've taken my power back in this last year and a half, and I'm like, I'm going with my intuition. If I get a case, like, that I don't like, or, I'm going to someone's house and, whether it's the parent I don't get along with or something, I'm saying, you know what, I used to feel bad. I'm not going to put this case, and something would always turn out terrible. There'd be something that would come back. But now I'm like, you know what, I don't give a fuck. I'm quitting this case. I don't like it. And that's the same thing with anybody. Like, even when I meet people, but this has always been me, I meet people, I'll be like, I have to take a while. Even like some of my best friends, and Joanna, I know you're listening. Joanna Barrett, I know you're listening. When I first started training at Henzo's, me and my friend Joanna and Fabiana, like, we all met, and we're all like, all three of us are very intuitive, and we're very, like, we were raised on the street. So we're all like checking each other out. We're like feeling each other out to see, like, getting our intuition. Can we be friends? Like, can this be something that, we can do? I knew it. I can't say we all knew right away, especially like me and my friend Joanna, like the way we were raised in our lives. We both knew each other was cool, but we're checking each other out to see. And then after a while, like, man, we just became like best friends. But you let your intuition guide you, like, feel it out before you jump into even a friendship. Like I said, they were friendships. Before you jump into them, like, know that this is going to be my girl. Yes. And I made some mistakes in friendships for sure. But, not anymore. Now it's like I feel my intuition, and I'm just like, man, if something's not up, then they can be my acquaintance, but they're not becoming one of my really good friends. And boy, I can say this about guys again, and for me, this has never been the issue. I usually know somebody way before, like, I'm with them. There is one time where I really didn't know somebody, but most of the time I know them from something. I need to have, like, some kind of feeling. It's for me to be on a dating app, and I never have or was, but, like, that must be very difficult and hard, because that must be just a lot of work. I can, like, really look at a picture and get a big vibe on somebody, but I'd like to, like, get to know them, get a feeling for them, feel what my intuition says for me. And, of course, sometimes my intuition's wrong, or I don't listen to it, or I don't want to listen to it. But, if I would have listened to it or did listen to it, I'll give you another example. This is I remember I was at the gym at Crunch, and I met this guy, and I called my girlfriend, Donna. I'm like, hey, I met this guy, and we were supposed to go out, like, the next night. And the next night I was going to meet him, and I call my girlfriend, Donna, and I tell her, like, this is the guy's address, just in case, like, something happens. And I said, I just have a feeling he's shady, and he's probably doing some kind of crazy deal, and, I'm going to go meet him. And I told her, like, everything that I felt. Of course, mind your own psychic. But anyway, I told her everything. Well, me and him wind up, living together, being together for, like, three plus years. And, everything I felt from day one, my intuition, and I told her on the phone, was everything that came true. Now, for you guys, maybe if you don't have that kind of deep psychic I have, it doesn't matter, because you're still going to get something in your stomach. It'll be something that you're saying, you're going on that date, and you're meeting that guy, and you kind of feel it. There's something in there. You have that intuition that's telling you something, and you might think he's cute or whatever it is that's going to, or it doesn't matter, and you put it out of your mind and you go on. But if you go back to day one, and if you could be like me, 3 years in, and I go back to day one, and I was like, I remember when I was going to, his apartment, and I was waiting outside talking to my friend Don. I'm like, listen, he tells me he needs 10 more minutes. Like, I bet you he's finishing something up. And I knew it. And again, it didn't come out for a while, but that's your intuition kicking in, giving you an idea of what's going on. It's there. It's always there. And it's been there from anything. it's funny because like I'm looking at my cat right now, and that just gives me another thing that I want to talk about. It's just the intuition as far as pets go, and it's a good one. I'm a big pet lover, and you know, all my cats that I have now, which I have 4, they were all strays. They came off the street. Every one of them is a rescue. But let's talk about intuition as far as a pet goes. Now, did you ever just like, I don't know, go if you're looking for an animal or a pet, and you just use your intuition when you're picking out your pet? For me, these cats found me. You know, they were strays and they found me, and they're amazing with me. But if you're actually looking for an animal or a pet, and people are like, what should I get? You know, should I get a Great Dane? Or, you know, you're trying to figure out what it is. And this is a big thing for people. You know, getting a pet is almost like, should I have a kid? But when you go to that shelter, you're using your intuition. You know, you turn to your intuition and you're like, oh, you see like 3 dogs over there and you're wondering like, what dog do I want? You go right to your intuition and feel like what feels good. And that's an easy way to check like your intuition, because you don't really have any, like, you know, you're going to get a dog. There's like 4 of the same dog you want, and you're just listening to your intuition to guide you on what dog you want. So check your intuition on something easy. It could be even as something easy as like you're going to the store and you need to get like something simple. Let's talk about makeup foundation if you're a girl. So you're going to the store and there's 4 makeup there. You're going, you know, it doesn't really matter to you, but you're using your intuition. So practice using your intuition on little things, like little things that don't mean anything, something so subtle before you start, you know, really using your intuition. You just check with yourself. So say that you want to like order, I don't know, you want to order maybe like a new computer or something. Just you do some research, but use your intuition. Just start checking into your intuition on little things that mean nothing to you. And then all of a sudden you start checking in with your intuition before you do anything, and make sure that your brain is not being used. Again, that subconscious mind that gets you in trouble. Turn that off and stop going with what society has programmed or put in your head. Turn that off and go with what your gut feeling is. And again, the quieter your mind is, the more you're going to hear it. So if that means stepping away from the situation and really like meditating on it, or taking a break and seeing like what it is you want. So to improve your intuition, that's what you need to do. You got to just slow down and listen. And there's been points in my life, and again, it's probably in the last 4 years, where my head was so messed up. My intuition could have been, and it was, and my guides were banging me on the head like a hammer. But I wasn't, and my mind was so messed up with so many things and so many things going on. And I always say this to my clients, and you all know I say this. If you have one thing in your life, one thing that's a little off, so say something like you're failing your test in your job and you're going to this job that you just don't like. You hate it. Every day you're going to the job because you're afraid to leave the job. You're afraid to get a new job because you've been at this job for so long. You have security in this job. Whatever it is, you're afraid to leave this job. So because you have that in your life and you're putting up with something that you're not happy with, other things start to manifest from that, because you're feeding all the negativity with saying, I hate this job, I don't like this job, da-da-da, and you're growing negativity. So you're growing all your negativity, and that shows in maybe your apartment. All of a sudden, like, you know, something goes wrong in your apartment and you have to move, or, you know, someone else bought the building and you're losing it. That goes along with your relationships. Even if you're having a bad time in your job and you're complaining, all of a sudden you're suffering in your relationships. You and your significant other are arguing. And so if there's one part of your life that is not going so well and you're complaining, you're not grateful, you're not trying to change it, you're suffering in lack and misery, that's going to trickle to your health, to your other relationships, in all areas of life. So go back again and search for that intuition and dig deep and ask yourself, what am I going to do about this job? Because this is not serving me. Complaining, bitching, saying this sucks, that sucks. Use your intuition and see what was your intuition going to say. Put out some other resumes. But your intuition is not going to talk to you while you're all stressed out and all you think of every day is, I don't want to get up, I don't want to do it. You won't hear your intuition. You're going to just keep going to the rotten job that you don't like, and the boss you don't like, and the coworkers, and all these things that you're saying, and, you know, the hours, and, you know, the lunch breaks that stop. You're planning, and the whole time you're complaining about this, all you're doing is planting your garden full of weeds. You're planting the seeds of weeds and ruining all the flowers. So stop it dead in its tracks when it gets like that. Take a breath, meditate, ask your intuition what you should do. And if you listen, your intuition is going to tell you, like, apply for, you know, put your resume out, you know, take the chance, like, take the leap, you know, quit even, like, if you can quit, start something else. But as much as you don't listen to that intuition and you keep going, you're planting the negative garden, and in the same time, your other areas of your life are suffering because you're living in that negativity. And I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen with me. So you need to stop it dead in its tracks. And right now, that's not going to happen to me no more because I've lived it. I've seen it. I've seen when I didn't do it in my life. Although when I wasn't doing it in my life, I didn't know that I was listening to my intuition and being guided by my intuition, not putting up with anything I didn't like or didn't serve me. I didn't know I wasn't doing it, but I did know things were good. But I'll tell you, when I did it and I was planting the negative seeds and I was in the job I didn't like, I was in the relationship I didn't like, I was, you know, clocking the clock I didn't want to clock and fighting with this boss and that thing and going to a job I hated, and I was in a relationship that, you know, wasn't fulfilling me and serving me in the way I wanted, and I was putting up with it, and I was complaining, and then I hurt my knee. Everything was coming to hell because I was planting the negative shit, taking that. And then finally, like I said, about a year and a half ago, when I wake up and I start listening to myself, my intuition, my higher self, my guides, and I'm like, I have to work out these weeds because, again, those weeds that I planted of negativity don't go away so soon. So even though I've been planting, you know, for the last 6 or 7 months, some good seeds, they're not blooming yet. They're starting to come. Like, they're popping up a little bit, and they have been, but it's going to take a while to get rid of them. But if I would have done everything I did when I was a kid before I fell down that hole 4 years ago, I wouldn't be, you know, and went through the things and been in the situations and the relationships and the jobs that I was in, because I would have been guided by my intuition, which I live by most of my life. But usually when something happens, and life will challenge you, and again, when we come here, we choose these challenges. Life is going to challenge you. But if we knew, and I'm telling you, if you knew you had this inner guidance system, this intuition, the intuition is your soul. If you could check in with it, and if you know that intuition, your soul, your higher self, that loves you more than anything, that's what you need to check in with. You could ask your cousin, your brother, your sister, your significant other, but nobody is going to give you the guidance that your inner self, your soul, your intuition has. And being able to just check in and see what it is you need to do. But again, you're not going to be able to check in when you're so tense and all you're doing is being ungrateful and you're living and building and growing all that negative shit. So I also want to tell you that I'm here and I'm telling you this, and everything that I'm telling you, again, I really think God took me through every fucked up situation that he possibly could, so I could say, oh my God, yes, like I've been there, I've done that, I've seen it. But I did it myself. I mean, I did, and sometimes I wasn't listening to my inner guidance system. I wasn't listening to my intuition. I was growing all the negative shit, and it's taken me a while to actually come out of it and try to remember like who I was before I started doing all this stuff. So I told you guys that I want you to practice like the small stuff, the intuition, small stuff, just checking in and asking for simple stuff. And then I want you to start really using your intuition and stepping back. And this is with relationships. Oh my God, like please, you know, use your intuition. Like you're with somebody, you're dating them, but like he's cute. So like, or you're trying to get over somebody else and you're hanging out with them, just thinking, I'm just going to hang out with them because like, you know, in 3 weeks I'm moving, or, you know, whatever it is, you know, you're changing your life and he's just temporary. So, but, you know, you're not listening to your intuition. You're trying to like out-talk it. And then all of a sudden, I don't care if that guy is a piece of shit. He's not good looking. He might not even be good looking, or girl, they're not even good looking. But if you keep hanging out with them for whatever reason, to pass time or you want to hook up or you want to have coffee, whatever it is, you're going to have some attachment to that person, and it's going to be harder to walk away from. But if you would have went back to when you first started, like, why even waste your time? Like, your intuition's telling you, like, this is not the person, but don't even waste your time and plant all that in seeds and negativity and then grow this attachment and that gets this sticky stuff to your soul that you should have listened to from the first time. Another big thing and that people talk about, and I really didn't know what it was, and I was in college and someone did like their dissertation. It was grad school. Someone was doing their dissertation on mindfulness, and I was kind of like a little curious, what is mindfulness? I thought, it was this older, I think it was my doctorate degree. So it was in my doctorate. So this guy was like already a professor. He was getting his doctorate, and he was doing this thing on mindfulness. And I really didn't understand it, but I have been putting some work into understanding mindfulness. And, we're just going to touch on this, and maybe I'll talk about this topic in a little more depth on another show, but just to touch on mindfulness, and you can look this up, there's YouTube has everything there is. Mindfulness is just practicing like being in the moment, just being present for everything that is going on around you. And I've been trying to do this. So like one of my jiu-jitsu professors, he's really big on this because he always sees it like, oh, Gina, like, what are you thinking about? We got you right now. Can you come back? Because my mind's always someplace else. And, I'm listening to the technique, and my friend Joy's like, I'll be like, okay, Joy, now show me that technique because, I wasn't listening. Hi, Joy, you're listening out there. But she brings me back in, and she'll tell me. But so I've been really trying to practice this mindfulness, and this is something new, and I'll take you through how it's working for me. But right now it's kind of like hard for me, trying to be present in the moment, trying to just be there for whatever it is and be absorbed in it. Say I'm just eating a freaking salad. And just being like, I'm so present in eating these tomatoes and like enjoying it. Like, how many people like eat their salad, talk on the phone, watch a TV show, whatever. But try to be present in the moment of what it is that you're doing and eating, and take it in. Be mindful. I'm going to be trying this, and I have. And I've been trying it. This is super crazy. Like, I've been walking down the street in New York, and I'm just trying to it's New York. There's so much sensory overload going on, right? I could walk down the street and people tell me they walk by me and try to see me, and I didn't even say hi. I'm just like not listening. But try to be mindful. Like now I'm trying to be mindful. Like I see so much more. I'm like, okay, I'm walking down the street. I see the cat at that bodega. Like, how many times did I miss that little guy? And now I'm like, oh, there was always a cat there. I never seen him. Like, how did I miss a cat? But I'm being more present, walking down the street, like breathing in the beautiful New York City air, but just like being mindful of feeling the breath, feeling the air, like feeling the rain if it's hitting you, just every moment. There's this book, The Power Now. I think I've talked about this before. It teaches you how to be present. Unfortunately for me, I'm a short book reader, and I try, and that book has to really catch me. And I haven't really been able to get through that book, but I get the concept. The power of now, it's a lot like mindfulness, and practicing mindfulness will make your intuition much stronger because it's kind of like meditation, but it's mindfulness and meditation, they're different, but it's kind of the same concept where your mind isn't 100 places. Like I definitely had my mind and always have my mind like, where is it? Let me figure it out because I'm not even here. I don't know where I'm at because I'm not here. But just bringing your mind into, whatever it is you do so that you can hear your intuition loud and clear when you're present in yourself. So I want you to just practice that, being mindful in whatever that is you're doing. So before I run out of time, I know that everybody likes this, and sometimes I'm sorry, I skipped this in my show, but I'm going to do a little universal reading. So this is a universal reading. I use my tarot cards. People that know I usually don't because I am a medium. I talk through spirit, but I'm also a psychic. So I use both channels, psychic channel and mediumship. So I'm going to just do a little spread here. You see it on Instagram. Sometimes I shoot one out if the guides say it. So I'm just going to give a universal message. This is probably for somebody that's listening. I don't know who's going to resonate with this, but I'll tell you what, if I'm doing it, someone out there is going to resonate with you. So just pay attention and just listen and see if this relates to you because I'm going to be channeling this message. So here I go. someone is going to be making you an offer. This is definitely a relationship offer here. So if you're dating someone, you've been seeing someone, or you're kind of not sure where you're going, or he might even, looks like there might be a separation. So he will be reaching out to you and offering you something to bring you more together, to bring you more together as a team, a couple, or some type of commitment. But this commitment is still kind of a little shaky. He's still like not all the way in, but he wants to bring you back somehow. There's money is an issue with this other significant person. This other person is working on their money, trying to stack their money, trying to build it, which is making relationships hard for this person right now to fully be in a relationship or commit to a relationship, because they're so concentrated on where their money or where their career is going. They're so wrapped up in it, and causing a lot of, say, like non-commitment or non-closeness within the relationship at this time. But, this person doesn't see, what they have in front of them. This person already is doing well and has a lot of treasures, but because they're not looking at anything but, their money, their treasures, their life behind them is like clouded, and they don't see it because they're only looking towards material and substantial things. Also, there's going to be, in this person's life, there's going to be some kind of, whoever this reading is for, there's something with a parent. So a parent needs to have some type of attention. You have to give, this looks like a mother. So your mother is missing like attention from you. You need to visit your mother, call your mother, or she might be getting older, but like send your mother flowers. This is a mother that definitely needs some type of attention from you. And this looks like a daughter here. So reach out to your mother. Another thing about the life, your life has kind of been like more like whoever this reading is resonating with, you're doing some inner work. Whether it is going to church or praying, you're looking, you're figuring things out. You're realizing that you want your life to change, and you're looking for higher guidance, for help. You're looking to have someone come and give you hope. But you are praying. You're becoming more spiritual, and you're still kind of like you're not there yet. You haven't come around yet, but you're realizing that you need to reach a little higher to look for some guidance for someone out there to help you. So your life as a whole is going to come together as far as relationships. This looks like career and family and spirituality. All these things are improving. Every area of your life improving. So that's telling me whoever's listening to this is on a spiritual journey. So they are going through an awakening, and each part of their life, because they are trying to live to their highest good and try to ride high on that emotional scale, that whoever's listening will see improvement in every area of their life because of the journey they're on, and they are putting in their work, and they're trying to #pass their fucking test. So that is my reading, and if that resonates with anybody out there, that was for you. So just to wrap up this show, talking about intuition, I want you to also, this is another thing, I just quickly want to go over this, pay attention to your dreams. They could be telling you something that you need to know. Lately, I have been asking before I go to sleep, I ask my guides, I said, listen, can you show me something in my dream? Like, I need to have some guidance. And when we're asleep, for me, I go on the astral plane a lot. I talk to and meet a lot of spirits. So I say, like, when I go to sleep tonight, I put an intention in my dream for my intuition. So I want to say, when I go to sleep, can you give me some insight into what it is that I need to know, some deeper understanding of maybe something that, my intuition, my spirit guides are knocking me over the head and I'm not seeing. And I've been only starting to do this like recently, and because I'm trying to like really unprogram my subconscious mind. So before I go to sleep, I'm putting intentions out to clear my subconscious mind. So by putting that intention out, that I want to clear this subconscious mind, because again, over these last 4 years, I've had a lot of programming that I need to get rid of, like lack of self-esteem, lack of self-confidence, living in lack, all these things, that fear that I've never lived in before had come to part, and it's in my subconscious mind. So when I go to sleep, I specifically say, like, help me clear this. Help me bring it. And the dreams that I've been having, and again, I've only started it this week, has been amazing. Like, I wake up usually around 3 or 4 in the morning, and I sit up, I put my feet on the ground to ground myself, and I write down, because I remember at that time what it is. And then I will go back and ask for signs. Or so just give you an example how I did it. So probably like few nights ago, I went to sleep and I put that intention out there. And then I had a dream about specifically the sign that was given to me before, and I seen it in my dream. You know, they showed it to me, and it kept flashing, this one sign, and I even posted it on my Instagram. It's some sign about this evil eye or hand, like keeping like bad and evil things away from you. And it showed me, kept flashing to this sign and showing me, like, you know, pretty much it was telling me, don't let anything bother you. Don't let, if someone has bad intention or ill will towards you, it was saying, like, reflect that back. Don't engage. So that would be like if you're in an argument with someone, or someone's trying to tell you something that goes against your beliefs, like, push that back. Don't fall victim to believing that. But my dream showed me that, and that's just by, again, putting that intention out before I go to sleep, paying close attention to my intuition. So try that, you know, before you go to sleep, and see how that works for you. We'll talk about that in another episode too. Dreams, that's a whole big episode. So I just want to thank everybody who listened tonight. Thank you for tuning in. I want to thank everyone that's listening to the pre-recorded show. I want to definitely talk about some of the things on social media that I love. So there's this group called Little Wanderers in New York City, and they save all these little cats throughout the city. And there have been a lot of rip-off artists, and I've seen it. But this is actually a really cool group. So any animal out there, if you could go to Little Wanderers New York City on Instagram and follow them and just support them, because I really love what they do, saving all these little cats. Dogs, I like Fight for Them. It's a great organization. They save a lot of pit bulls. So if there's any animal lovers, if you could support those groups, I'd really appreciate it. I want to talk about Girls versus Ghost Media. It's amazing. I'm so blessed that I got here to be doing this podcast. I want to thank Charlotte Hardin, who is my amazing producer, and she started Girls versus Ghosts with Beth Moore, and they are on VD Space, but they're going to be doing another podcast on Girls versus Ghost Media. And right now on our channel, I'm very excited that we have so many cool shows right now. We have, you can always find this. I post this on my Instagram. Again, my Instagram is psychic_medium_Dr. Gina. So we have The Realm Walker with Kelly. It's an awesome show. We have Spooky Talk with Madison. We have The Mind's Eye with Stephanie. And a new show is going to be Getting Awkward with Gabby. So I post all of them, and when the shows are on, and they're all talking, again, we're all into the paranormal. You know, we all have different talents, and we all have different emphasis on our show, but each and every one of these shows are amazing. So if you can follow my social media or see when they're playing, they're all on Blog Talk Radio, just like my show. So the different days and times you can tune into them and see. I'm excited about new things we have coming up. I will be making different appearances on different podcasts coming up, and I will also announce them on the social media. So thank you, everyone, for listening to episode 8, and have a great night.
The all-new Toyota RAV4 asks, what if? What if your ride was refined and rugged at the same time? Introducing a car that's got style and substance to spare. The all-new RAV4 Limited, featuring a sophisticated, muscular new exterior and available options like a premium JBL audio system and